Hello there. Yesterday night we got patch 9.1, Chains of Elimination on the PTR, alongside with some PTR patch notes from Blizzards themselves, and some data mining. Now, immediately, the Mage community lost its mind, claiming that Fire is dead. I can assure you Fire is indeed not dead. Um, it's slightly nerfed, but it's definitely not dead. Uh, from these changes that you can see here, Flame Strike damage reduced, Flame Patch damage reduced, both by 10%, Kindling reduced from 1.5 to 1 second, and Infernal Cascade bonus reduced by 20%. The only two that actually really matter here are the Kindling and the Infernal Cascade, right? And even then, Kindling isn't as big as people think. So the only actual nerf here is Infernal Cascade, and to a certain extent Flame Patch. Now, how do numbers for Infernal Cascade look then? Well, you can see that our 14.4 Infernal Cascade on 226 that we have right now is going to become 11.2. This effectively nerfed our combustion window by 6.4% because you can stack Infernal Cascade to 2. So that results in like a 6.4% difference in damage, which is pretty big, but it will still be fine. Right? So how does our damage differ right now after the nerf? Right? My live mage on 30 seconds with combustion does around 174,000 damage with flame strike and about 131,000 damage with flame patch. The same mage on the PTR does 159,000 and 114,000 with flame patch. Same duration of fight, same everything. In that small burst window, this is just 30 seconds. Remember, it's just 30 seconds. You lose around 2k DPS. This would normalize itself a little bit if the fight would be longer and so on and so forth, but this is just a small window, right? So I know 2k sounds like a lot, but it's really not that bad. Especially when you understand that this is only temporary. All right, why is this only temporary? Well, because you can see every soulbind now has additional rows, and row 9 is a potency slot. Now, immediately into the potency slot you can slot Master of Flames, and that's one nerf gone, right? Your Flame Strike nerf is just gone. I'm fairly certain that this conduit and the fact that you're going to have a potency slot again is the reason why Flame Strike is getting nerfed. Alright? Um, while we're looking at conduits, you can also see that some of these, actually all of these, are glowing gold. What this means that is they're enhanced. Right now on the PTR, all of the slots are enhanced, and I'm not sure, but I think that's not supposed to be the case, especially because of what they said at BlizzCon when they announced 9.1. They said some slots would be enhanced. They didn't say all slots, they said some. So I just assume that this is a bug right now on the PTR, and some of these are supposed to be enhanced, and then you need to choose which of your conduits you want to have the extra power. What do enhanced conduit slots actually mean? They give you 2 levels of your conduit, right? So my Infernal Cascade 226 is 11.2, just as the nerf says, it's going to be 11.2. However, slotted into an enhanced, it's 12.6. Right? If we see 12.6 is actually 225, right? Which is the highest eye level conduit that you would be able to get in this patch. So if you slot a 225 conduit of Infernal Cascade into an enhanced slot, you would get 14, which is almost close to 14.4. Now, obviously, this is going to feel bad because this is just us chasing something we already had, but I think it was necessary to keep um, this class from spiraling under control, right? Look, on 225 we would have had 16, and then you would slot it in, and it would be 18. It would be broken. You would almost be getting 40% extra damage on combustion. Come on, like, seriously? It would absolutely be broken. Now, speaking of conduits, uh, into the same slot, you can slot in Discipline of Growth. A normal Discipline of the Growth 226 is 6.4 seconds. You can see slotted in here, it's 7.2 seconds, which by the talent calculator, if you look at this, 7.2 seconds is 252. Now, you can then slot the 252 into an enhanced slot and it would become 8. This, coupled with the natural stat growth that you're going to get from obtaining new gear throughout the expansion, which is going to have more stat budget, so more stats overall than your old gear, is going to result in an insane reset ratio on your combustion. This is exactly why kindling had to get nerfed. If Discipline of the Grove is going to start scaling, and you're going to start getting more haste, your Fire Blasts are going to have a lower recharge time, you're going to end up getting enough reset to get your combustions back. And the thing is, right now my Mage, on the PTR, with 29% crit, 28.54% crit, um, is just 15 seconds shy of getting 1 minute combustions. It's 1 minute 15, right? So if I would make the 35% crit, I would probably get back 1 minute combustions. Now you can see that if kindling would stay the same, it would be problematic because it would end up being sub 1 minute combustions, and having something as strong as combustion on sub 1 minute is pretty strong. You can see that when a mage gets Night Fae Priest, fairies, right? You end up with sub 1 minute combustions and stuff just dies. You would end up getting combustions like per pack. You would maybe get it into the same mechanic of a boss or whatever, right? Like, it would become problematic. That's why it had to be nerfed. So now you can kind of see the theme where stuff that got nerfed about Mage isn't necessarily to kneecap Mage and push it out of the meta, it's to keep Mage at its spot and limit it from scaling out of proportion and absolutely annihilating content. That's what these nerfs are designed to do. This is why Mage is still going to be fine, because everything that has been nerfed on them is counterplayable. You can still play around the nerf. They aren't set in stone. They're not making the class worse than it was right now. It is making it what it is right now. That's what the nerfs are aimed to do. When everything else goes forward in the patch, the nerfs are trying to keep the mage at this sort of level, plus whatever stats you're going to get. If Infernal Cascade would go up, and you would start getting like 40% on your combustion, if you would start getting sub 1 minute combustions, it would just get out of hand really, really, really quickly. So that's why these nerfs had to be done. Essentially because their third-party systems are scaling the class to a way where the class itself needs the nerf for them to justify this in the first place. Like, that's pretty much it. Now, essentially, if this didn't convince you that fire is going to be fine, then I mean, you can always roll into Frost, and you can play Icy Propulsion, Ice Bite, and Unrelenting Cold in your last one, and you can play Glacial Fragments, and you're still gonna be fine. On damage, you don't have to roll a different class. You just need to go different spec. But you know, fire is gonna be fine. Fire is gonna be completely fine. So I just like to ask people to, when changes happen, sit down, take a breather, and then gather all of the information versus just small bits of information out of context before you assess that something is dead or not worth playing anymore or anything like that. Just use a little bit of critical thinking and it's going to be better, I promise. Um, yeah, anyway, thank you for watching and bye bye.